Hello, the man's game room. I'm Aaron as always, and sorry we didn't have a video last week. Last Monday I was at the hospital because we were having a baby, or more, we'd already had the baby, and by Monday we just hadn't been released from the hospital yet. But yeah, so obviously there really wasn't any time for making a video last week, but I've got a little bit of time today, so this Monday I'm going to try and do a video for you guys real quick. But obviously because of our situation, you know, there's no guarantee of how much time I will have for videos for a little while, so my videos might become a little sporadic. Don't necessarily expect the weekly videos for a while. But anyways, with that being said, let's get on to squeezing something in for today. But getting on with the game for this week, as of the recording of this video, it is Cinco de Mayo, which I'm sure all of you know is a celebration of when Mexico defeated France in the Battle of Puebla. And not just an excuse for everyone to go drink crappy, cheap margaritas at your local Mexican restaurant. So, that being said, though, this game is a game that is very casual, family-friendly game that has, funny enough, quickly become one of the most common drinking games that my friends and family play. And it's LCR, left, center, right. Now, this is not a drinking game, and as far as I know, it wasn't designed to be one or anything like that. It's just a very simple little dice chucking game where kind of the roll of the dice determine a winner eventually. But I have a bit of a knack, or at least I like to think I do, of finding ways to make normal games into drinking party games. And yeah, so it's just become an easy thing to put on the table and just an excuse to kind of hang out and talk for a while. So, I'll show you guys how to play the game normally, and then I'll, obviously, at the end, kind of tell you about how we do the drinking rules, but otherwise, it's not telling you about it, it's a good game. Like, hey, if you don't like drinking, that's fine. It's a fun little game. Stay and watch the video, alright? It's going to be super short. LCR, or left, center, right, I never quite know what to call it, is a dice chucking game for, well, like it says, 3 players and up, which is definitely right. You can pretty sure this any number of players. And as for ages 5 and up, that seems kind of silly. I don't know why you'd need to be that old to play this game. I believe it's still produced by George & Co. when I've seen it around, but also I feel like the newer ones I've seen were from Buffalo Games. I'm not totally sure on that one. But I will say, as far as accessibility, this is one of the most accessible games I think I've ever done on here, because yeah, like I've even seen LCR at like the Dollar Tree. Like this game's pretty much everywhere. Literally all you need for setup is to give every player 3 of these little chips. Once every player has 3 chips in front of them, make sure you have the dice, and put everything else you're not using just back in the tin or off to the side, alright? There's no rules for determining who goes first in this game. I don't know. It just decides someone to go first. On your turn, you will simply take the dice and roll them. Now, one quick rule I want to set at the back is you will never roll more dice than you have chips. The whole point of the game is these dice are going to start making these chips move around the table. And if on your turn you have, let's say, only 2 chips in front of you, then you will only roll 2 dice. If you have only 1 chip in front of you, then you will only roll 1 dice. So never roll more dice than you have chips. But getting back to the thing, you're going to roll the dice, and then depending on what you roll, the chips are going to move around the table. If you roll these pips, hey, those are neutral. Nothing happens on those. So actually, those are pretty great to roll. You just get to keep your chips. But if you roll any of the letters, the L, C, or R, then chips will get pushed around. For every L you roll, then one of your chips will be passed off to the player on your left. For every R you roll, then one of your chips will be passed off to the player on your right. And for every C you roll, then one of your chips gets placed in a center pile. The center pile is basically a discard. Nothing comes back out of the center pile. After that unfortunate roll, I am left with no chips at all. As I just said earlier, you never roll more chips than more dice than you have chips. So when you run out of chips, you are sort of out of the game. You're never fully out of the game until the game is over. Since I have no chips, that means I cannot roll any dice on my turn. But if any player to the left or right of me happens to roll the L's or R's and it ends up passing a chip, it doesn't skip over me and go to the next player, it goes back to me. So even though I might sit out of the game for a little while, someone could always roll and put me back into the game. So now that I have a chip back, then when it comes back around to my turn, I'd roll 1 dice again. Up, and I went straight to the center and lost. Center is basically how you're going to force a win eventually. Because at some point, if at any point in the game, there's only 1 player left at the table that has any amount of chips at all, not necessarily just 1, any amount of chips. If there's only 1 player left with any chips on the table, then they are the winner of the game. Like I said, Super simple. There's no real skill involved to it. It's just sort of chucking dice and hoping for the best, honestly. And which is why I said it's a super casual, family-friendly game. I think it's one game you can definitely with kids. Little bitty kids can play this game and understand it really easily and have fun with it because kids aren't super worried about like strategy of things and all that. All right, they're gonna feel like it was their skill that rolled the dice that got them to win the game. So yeah, I totally played this with my daughter when she was younger and all that. I played it with a lot of people just casually for fun and all that. But like I said again, it has also become a vehicle for our parties and all that with some drinking games and all that, which I guess I can go over now as well. But hey, if you don't want to watch the rest of that, I'll go ahead and jump to the other guys. As far as our little basic family game for people, if the game costs like any amount of money, I probably wouldn't say bear and approve, but because it's so easily accessible and so cheap, again, I've seen it at Dollar Tree and pretty much any other, like even gas station stuff. It's such an easy game to find around places, or again, just grab some coins and dice and play it, without buying a copy. It's so accessible, I have to say, bear and approve just for that. It's an easy time waster. If you're looking for a good game to, actually dive into a strategy and think, no, this is of course you're not going to play this. But if you just need something to kill a little bit of time, something to pass some time at a family reunion or with some little kids, then absolutely, play LCR, guys. The way we have started playing this as a drinking game is simply like this. As chips get passed around, chips are basically drinks. So anytime I roll something like L and I pass the chip to my left, then the player to my left takes my chip, but also takes a drink. C doesn't do anything at first. C still just puts a chip to the center, but we do have something with those that we'll go into later. And then lastly, for every pip you roll, in the normal game, you don't lose a chip. You still don't lose a chip, but now you take a drink for every pip you roll. And that's the whole game. So, do a quick roll here. From what I rolled, I would take a drink for this pip. I would give a chip and a drink to the player to my left, and a chip and a drink to the player to my right. And that's my turn. Just like in the normal game, you play until only one player has any chips left in front of them. And at that point, we go to our final little rule, which is at the end of the game, over here, the winning player gets to distribute the chips in the center as drinks. So let's say in a 4-player game by the end, there was 10 chips sitting in the center here. Then the winning player would have 10 drinks to distribute amongst the table as they want. They can make that player over there take 5, and the player over here do 3, and then maybe I get stuck with just 2, something small like that, whatever. But you can distribute them however you want. After everyone's taken their drinks, just give everyone 3 poker chips again and start the round all over. Super simple. Let's not be a dead horse here. Is the game a strategic masterpiece? Absolutely not. Is it a super simple way to give you an excuse to drink? Absolutely. Is it a super simple way to give you an excuse just to have fun with some kids or family members? Absolutely. All right. If the game costs more than $5, no, you probably shouldn't buy it. Again, super easy just to get the components and play it at home. But super accessible, super cheap. Yeah, I mean, come on. I can't be that hateful, guys. LCO or left, center, right. It's very easy, obviously. Parent approved, guys. I mean, come on. Have a good time. Oh, and drink responsibly. Happy Cinco de Mayo.